Hi, thanks for joining me. This is Darlene from darlenestampinspot.com, and I am sharing another Halloween treat holder in my 2018 craft show series that I've been doing here on YouTube. And this is the project. It's got two of the snack size Hershey's, and this year a couple of different candy companies have put some glow in the dark images on their wrapping, so it's really fun. So of course I immediately looked at this and saw, I don't know, well, you're not gonna be able to see it, I don't think, but the background behind the Hershey, it's lemon lime twist. And so, you know, lemon lime twist and black and white, and okay, a lot of times that's how that's how my creations start. I'm inspired by the candy wrapper, and so this is what I chose to do with it, was black and lemon lime twist. Now I've used some of our retired vintage crochet trim that we had last year in the holiday catalog, so I'm going to update that for you guys and use the black organdy ribbon that is current in our holiday catalog. I've gone again with this Spooky Sweets bundle, which is the Spooky Sweet stamp set and the Spooky Bat punch. This is just, it's been a go-to for me. So we're actually using both products today. Let me see the consumable supplies. We've got lemon lime twist, and this is 2 by 7.5, and you'll have a much easier time putting this into the scallop tag topper punch if you cut it just a smidgen of 2. Like don't go right at 2, so just a smidgen off. It fits into the tag topper punch easier. Anyway, so this is just shy of 2 inches by 7.5. I've got a piece of the lemon lime twist pattern. This is from the Animal Expedition pack that's in the annual catalog, and this is a 1 7/8 square. I have some of our new sparkle glimmer paper. This is wonderful. It's been redone. It got a makeover, and you can see that I'm running my hand across there, and I'm not picking up any of that glitter. It stays put. So this is really nice. It's also thinner on the back, so it's easier to punch and cut out. So you just got a scrap of that. This is my strip for the Spooky Bats. You'll see the tag that I make today is the similar measures to another treat holder that I shared, and so I need one of the bats, and this is going to be for the let me see, this is the 1 3/8 inch scallop circle, and this is another scrap of lemon lime twist, and this is going to be with the 1 1/4 inch circle. Okay, the sparkle is, we're going to punch that out with a 1 1/2 inch circle. Okay, and so I've already told you that we're using the bat punch, the scallop punch, the tag topper punch, and I think that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up the Simply Scored scoring tool so I can show you how to put this together. For this particular project, you'll want to score first and then punch. It just works out better with the measurements. Otherwise, you were messing with 16ths, and I don't like having to count what, you know, 4/16 is or whatever. Anyway, so if you score it first, then you don't have to worry with that. Okay, so we're going to score it on the long side, on the 7.5 inch side. We're going to score at 1, at 3, and 3.5. And that's it. So when I was mass producing these, I had a full sheet of cardstock trimmed down to 7.5, and so all I had to do was, with my score lines, I just had to do them once, and then I just put them in my paper trimmer and cut them into the 2 inch strip. So if you're making multiples, even if you're not making 20 or 30 of them, you're just making a handful, it's just a little time saver tip for you. Okay, so now what we're do is we're going to come in with the scallop tag topper punch. Remember these locking punches, you just push this little button up, it unlocks it. And for this particular punch, I lay this one, I set it straight down, and I have designed this to, you're going to go all the way to the back, okay? And the same with this side. You're going to do that on both sides, okay? So we're done with that one. let's go ahead and do our stamping, and then we will bring in the other punches and get those taken care of. So I'm using Lemon Lime Twist to stamp my Spooky Sweets on there, and I'm using black StazOn. We're using a red rubber stamp, so you need to use your black StazOn ink. Give it a couple of little taps here, making sure that I've got good ink coverage on there, and I'm just going to stamp it down. And because you're stamping onto a colored cardstock, I like to leave it just a little bit longer. Again, I'm not pushing down very hard at all, but I just want to give it a little longer for that ink to soak into that colored cardstock. We get a nice, crisp black image. It's one thing I love about the StazOn ink. And look at that! Oh my gosh, it's just gorgeous. And I had somebody ask about my what was in the top of my StazOn top. And so when you purchase the StazOn, it's got this plastic little lid that fits over the ink pad, and it's to help it prevent it from drying out. And so it's a little bit annoying when every time you take off the lid and then you've got to take off that plastic thing, and I always ended up with ink everywhere, all over me. And so what I just did was I double stacked some dimensionals inside the lid. I exposed the adhesive, and then I put that plastic piece right down on top of it and smushed it down. And so now every time I close it, it's in the right spot. But more importantly, when I take it off, I don't have to mess with moving that. And in fact, even here on the lid, it says "Do not discard." Okay, so if you have one already, just throw a couple of dimensionals in your lid. I had to stack them too high, and yeah, so then that way you'll never lose that lid. It'll always go on the way it's supposed to. And then because the way Stampin' Up! Makes their ink pads, the ink pad is stored upside down so that the ink is always at the top of the pad. So I do that the same way with my StazOn and my Memento. When I'm finished with them, I turn them over and I do the same thing, and then I know that my ink is always going to be at the top of my ink pad. So there you go. I hope that answers that question. Let's see, let's bring in some punches here. We've got the 1 1/4 inch circle punch. And again, I'm going to move this down towards the bottom because we're going to get a little bat up at the top. Center it from right to left. You got that. And the 1 3/8 inch circle is going to be out of our basic black cardstock. And we've got the 1 1/2 inch punch for our Sparkle is the name of it, the Sparkle Glimmer Paper. Okay. Well, it looks like it got a funny edge there. Didn't quite look like a circle. Okay. Lane swerve. Sorry, that distracted me a little bit. I was like, oh, that looks kind of funny. It'll be fine. It's totally fine. Okay, so here I'm going to bring back in my my little strip that I've kind of been using these strips throughout the videos because I just want to get that one bat that's in the middle. I don't need all of them for this project, so we're going to save that and then discard that. I got punches everywhere over here. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our designer series paper on here. And for that, I am going to use some snail adhesive. Okay, and that is going to go on this front piece. This is going to be the front piece. It's a very small border. This is a 2-inch square, this section right here. And so this is a 1 7/8 inch square. So we've got that 1/16 inch of a border all the way around. Okay. Okay, so while we're working with the tag, let's go ahead and fold on our score lines. This one's actually going to fold down like this. And then you're going to fold this one this way and this one the same. Give it a good crease. That way it helps to, this will actually stand, so it looks kind of cute on your table. or somebody's desk, or you know, whoever you're going to give this to. Okay, so I think we're all finished with everything. I'm going to get the rest of the assembly going. I am putting dimensionals on the back of my Spooky Sweets, and I'm going to use glue dots for my black circle. I find that glue dots work the best for me when I'm attaching things to our glimmer paper. You use whatever adhesive you like to use for that. And I'm just going to put this right in the middle of the sparkle glimmer paper, and then I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of that. And I know that I might start sounding like a broken record, but again, these are for craft bear, so I use quite a bit of adhesive. I know I've been told, you're using a lot of adhesive. Yeah, I am, but it's mine, and I don't want my project to fall apart. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do a little glue dot right here just to kind of help secure this. And we're just going to stick that right there on that tip, and then when we fold it down, there we go. Okay, so we can go ahead and put this piece together. Get rid of those. And this is going to about center. Isn't that about center? Yeah. Okay, and then this is next. Those backings off, and we're going to stick this now in the center of our scallop. Okay, so now it's time to, let me go ahead and put my bat on my glue dot, and I'm just going to press my thumb right in there beside his little ear so I can just bend his little wings up, just because I like the look of that. I think it's super cute. Let me bring in the candy and the ribbon next. So these two of these is going to fit perfectly right there. Okay, and what's going to hold it all together, or hold your candy in, is the ribbon. Now, if you saw my tic-tac-toe-to-go video, you will recognize where this piece of ribbon is from because I had it wrapped around there and with a bow that was being funky, and I didn't want to make you guys sit there and watch me struggle, so I fixed it afterwards, but I ended up having to use a whole new piece. So I am now using this one up. So I'm going to get that tied pretty tight because, like I said, that's what's holding your candy in. And then we will get our bow made, I think. Maybe? Let me see. I do not struggle like this when the camera's not on. I think it's hilarious. Or maybe I just don't notice if I struggle. I have to start paying attention. Okay, well that was going to end up being upside down, so let's do it the other way. So we're going to make our loop here, pulling that knot tight, pretty tight, and we're going to come up this way and around and see if we can't get a bow that is right side up. There we go. Okay. Maybe. Oh goodness, it's upside down. Okay, third time's the charm. However it turns out is however it turns out. There we go. All right. Okay. Cuteness. Sorry about that. Wow. Do y'all struggle with your bow tying too sometimes? I mean, I think I'm also a bit of a perfectionist if you ask anybody that knows me. Maybe a smidge. But yeah, I kind of take pride in my bows and stuff. My flat knots and my square knots. But it just takes practice. Just takes practice. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these off at an angle, and I've got more of that strip that I will be able to use on another project. And we're just going to take our bat, and I'm just using my paper piercer, and I'm going to get under that bat on that glue dot and pick him up. And then I'm just going to place him down right about there where we left room for him because we stamped this farther down. Okay, so there you have it. Here's the one that I made previously, and then this is the one that I made for you guys right now. So I hope you like it. Leave me a comment and let me know. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.